It's Friday. It's Friday. Gotta cast Smite on Friday. Everybody's looking forward to the weekend. Partying, fun.
Happy birthday, Graham.
Weekend. I am. And guess what? We've got Leftovers versus Cringe Crew coming up for you
Hold on. I just kind of felt like Tom didn't celebrate your birthday enough.
What are you doing?
You didn't know it was coming.
No, I didn't actually.
Oh man, I got you some presents.
You got me presents?
I got you some presents.
Just wait one second, guys. If you do something stupid here, if this is stupid, you realize on your birthday it'll be worse.
First, put on your hat, your happy birthday hat. That I didn't actually get you. I stole that one.
Okay.
Right. You've come to America, so you need to assimilate, right? So you have your American bow tie, but I wanted to get you a patriotic bow tie as well. So I got you two patriotic bow ties. You're gonna have to wear them sometime this week. Thank you. And then it's just kind of some celebrations, right? We got these two balloons for you as well.
Oh, yeah.
So these are actually really cool. So you smack them and they blow up. So here, you got one, I got one. Yeah. No, just like don't open. No, you just like slam it. Not too hard though.
Not too hard?
Well, if you're using your hand, you're fine. Yeah, if you're using.
Yeah, great.
All right, do it on the table. See, look. No, it's gonna keep going. You didn't do it hard enough.
This is made in America, right?
I don't know. Probably, maybe. This is a lot.
It's card inside the packet. Are you sure I wasn't supposed to open the packet first, Kevin?
Yeah.
I think we were supposed to open the packet first. Look.
Maybe we were. Okay.
We were.
Well, I got another one. Hold on.
Great birthday.
Hold on. See, here's another one. How do I open this? I didn't test this beforehand. Anyways, these blow up into balloons.
When you try and do jokes and you fail, this is what you look like, just so you know.
It's okay. Here you go. Here, I got you
oh, great.
Parties. That was a lot less exciting than I thought. That's what you get for dollar streamers.
Anything else? Are we done?
Yeah, we can go on.
Cool. All right, guys. So we've got Leftovers and Cringe Crew. Let's go to the standings first of all. Oh my God, it's stuck in my hair.
Yeah! No, you got to keep that on. What are you doing?
I'm just gonna leave it here now.
Panthera #1 right now, 11-1. The rest of the European scene, though, pretty close. Paradigm right now tied with Dignitas after their split, both at 6-4. Cringe Crew following it up at 5-5. And then only a game off of that is Leftovers and Torpedo.
And let's be honest, if Cringe Crew 2-0 here as well over Leftovers, they will climb above Paradigm in the standings this week before Paradigm have an opportunity to play as well.
Was supposed to open
a good opportunity. Yeah, I guess you were supposed to open it.
I wasted all four.
One thing I want to do, though, before we go into picks and bans for this game as well, is just give a quick shout out to our boy Allied. Now, you guys at home all know, poor guy, got diagnosed with cancer, and he's one of us, right? So I want to just take this moment and let you guys spam in chat with "smell my balls" to cancer, all right? Allied will appreciate it. We all appreciate it. It's a charity stream for him tomorrow going on Kiki's channel. Make sure you tune into that from him. If you can't donate, that's fine. Obviously, just show your support, man. Smell my balls, cancer. Smell my balls. I can do that. It's my birthday, right?
I know.
That's why I was like,
I'll let you get off.
There's no stopping me now.
All right. Shout outs to Allied and Godspeed going forward, hopefully,
for sure, man.
for the recovery. But we have a game today, right? Leftovers versus Cringe Crew. We saw it right now. Most of Europe all within 2 games right now. Only Panthera at the top, Fnatic on the bottom. And Leftovers, they've been kind of quiet to me. I think they're kind of on the lower end of the potential for DreamHack, but I really like their playstyle. I really like their team fights. I think individually they have to keep improving, but they have a chance here against Cringe Crew.
They do, and that's the thing. Let's go into picks and bans to see how this all work out, because Cringe Crew at the moment, they're on the up and up for the most part. They did split with Paradigm. They split with Panthera, so when you hear those two names back to back, tells you Cringe Crew's got something about them this year.
Cringe Crew going to be taking the order side into this match, taking it away from Leftovers. And Leftovers actually do prefer this order side. They've played it 6 out of 8 times, so we'll have to see how they adapt in this picks and ban strategy. Wasting no time, though. Jungler going to have Najah banned away from him.
Surprised to see Jungler banned away, because both these teams have run Najah multiple times this season. They both like the setup potential of that. Capri taken off the table. Expect to see more than likely EmilZy something like Athena once again. He's Athena very, very strong, but he's got a very deep god pool, EmilZy.
I love exactly what Leftovers just did. They banned away Soul and Kronos, and this is completely shots at Shaggyshenk. Shaggyshenk has been one of the better hunters, if not the best, next to maybe Reels and Emilito in Europe. Europe right now. I mean, especially his Chronos play. It's been one of the main reasons we've seen Leftovers able to take games off of some of the big dogs.
Shaggyshenk's been flying under the radar. Even though he's been performing very, very well, he's still under the radar on this team. He's not been the standout player because the whole team's been performing. Talk about under the radar, Ratatoska. But so is Bakasura. Bakasura back in the Meier over in Europe. Will we see him in the jungle again? So far, we've seen it on Frostiak, and we've seen it on Ninja Boba, and now we've seen it on Kivo Fred.
Yes.
And this time, will it go to the jungler here for Cringe Crew?
A little bit surprised that it's first pick, though. It does give that flex option if you do want to go solo and kind of attenuate your strategy depending on Leftovers composition later on. They're going to go double globals. Athena for support, almost guaranteed. We haven't really seen her run in the solo or jungle like we traditionally have in the past, kind of the flex option. She's been basically a support, especially for Badgah, right? Combine that with the Apollo, the globals, now that's a flex pick.
And I love the Athena. The Athena pick by Leftovers is very smart from Badgah here. He knows EmilZy is very good on the Athena, engaging for his team. And I guess the Bakasura, you do not want a taunt to have to deal with as well when that regurgitate comes out. Janus locked in for Cringe Crew's mid laner.
So Cherryo has been very good on gods with kind of these long-range snipe abilities, Janus, Raw, most notably, and I think this is kind of taking it away from him. Also locks out the potential for the triple global threat coming out from Leftovers, and it's going to be Ares. So right now for me, it seems like Cringe Crew are trying to find advantages in a couple lanes and allow the Janus to kind of teleport his team over, teleport himself over, and get things rolling early.
Well, the Ares is known for beads burners. Even though he's not called Purification, he's still a beads burner. And if he can burn those Purification beads, what ends up happening is Bakasura is able to set up. But you said about the snipes coming out from Cherryo. Ra is a pretty good pick here because Athena taunts into snipes is perfect, as well as Ra's mobility can help him dance around the Bakasura a little bit while sitting in the heel to try and survive that.
And Leftovers have to pick this Raw here because Cherryo has had Raw target banned against him. There's actually, I think he's the only one, at least in this season, that has had the target ban centered around these kind of mid laners that are very out of meta. Thor going to be banned by Cringe Crew, and this, the ban for Thor is basically like, we want to give Leftovers the fewest options they can have to set up for the Raw.
Odin banned away. Quite a good idea to do that, especially when you've got a Raw on your team. Humbat's banned in response by Cringe Crew.
I like this.
Taking away jungler options, and jungler options is definitely what Leftovers need at the moment.
Leftovers looking for the first pick in the second half. More than likely need a solo lane unless they want to send Axioz over there with an Apollo. Not sure if they want to do that. It's going to be Bastet, so, you know, jungler, I think he's the only one
Axioz is on the other side, by the way, just to check.
On to Cringe Crew, yeah, I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's just letting people know.
I messed that up. No. It's Nika on Leftovers. Bastet, jungler actually one of the few players to
been going back to that.
Actually play Bastet here in this season.
And it's good poke. Sustained poke on a Janus where he has to teleport away. Fine, you don't have to chase him all the way. Just keep bleeding him and putting the pressure on. Very safe pick in Neith coming out here from Shaggyshenk this game round. And finally, Axioz will lock in that tier. So it will be a jungle Bakasura here. Potentially, let's be honest, tier can jungle too.
A little bit. Not a lot. His clear is so bad.
You just don't see
his clear is so bad.
Well, on a tier, you front load the damage and max fearless first if you go into the jungle. You don't have as much sustain, but you do have front loaded damage on that if you can find the blink combination. However, we'll find out whether it's going to be back in the jungle, which I expect it to be. Leftovers, final pick, looking for a solo, and it'll be Guan Yu to take on more than likely tier.
And this we've seen Guan Yu on Leftovers before. They really like this double heal composition, and you know, just kind of looking overall, right? Leftovers have the double globals, right? Athena, Apollo, so they're going to be able to get to fights. Guan Yu as well, almost guaranteed to have teleport along with tier. But Cringe Crew, they have a lot of kill potential, right? Not only on this Ares, but they have the Neith ult as well to help out in ganks. And Bakasura, if he can get a little bit of a lead early on by invading the jungle, he could just hit 5 and just kill someone right there.
And we mentioned double heal composition there for the side of Leftovers here. Well, who's going to be the ones to get curse on the enemy team? Because Axioz, he's going to want blink. Ares, he wants blink. Maybe he can get a curse to go along with it, I guess. I mean, Pestilence is pretty good as well on him for the most part. But who else is going to be? It's just going to be one curse on this lineup, I can see.
And it's more importantly going to limit kind of the defensive relics that a lot of teams like to run right now. We see multiple shells sometimes, multiple meditations, almost guaranteed a single sprint. And so you don't really have those options if you want to go that, right?
Are you looking Divine Ruin here for Kero at some point, maybe, just to try and reduce healing a little bit? Pestilence.
I would like to see a couple Pestilences early on. Definitely a Divine Divine Ruin on someone, even if it's Ares. Maybe not. Obviously, you don't want that first, but later on in the game when he's tanky enough, he has bolstered defenses as well to keep him alive, keep his team alive.
And if he goes Curse, that's not going to be too bad. However, you can see Badgah already well aware of the situation, taking Sprint early on here in this matchup. Now, Sprint will cancel out the effects of the slow Curse will give you. Obviously, the healing reduction is still there. However, as we see once again, what you'd expect from a Bakasura jungle, mid-hop, he's being taken.
And Repikas going to eat that one up real quick, but he actually waited a little bit, so he won't have the eat on or off cooldown, excuse me, by the time this blue buff gets low enough. But
he will.
A quick early lead.
Maybe he should do it. I think he'll still eat it just to get the consume off it and heal himself back up for the double. There you go. He will hit mid lane as well. Till a little bit later there, but look at this Bastet. Jungler has actually done both camps and he's hanging around this right-hand side. Still only level 1 though, but it looks like they may be looking for a bit of a fight. They may get, if they get his Fearless from Axioz. Really, really smart. There it is, but I don't think he's going to be able to find anything now. He's still only level 1 jungler. They're going to get some damage off onto him.
That was beautiful.
That was just nice.
That was absolutely beautiful. Left-hand side, though, Cringe Crew being aggressive, can't find the follow-up change there.
So
Sprint was popped, though.
The whole plan for the first blood there was wait for Fearless. When Fearless is done, it's death time for Axioz. He's not going to hit level 3 of that first minion wave, so can't stand change at all. Heal himself up or get away after that Fearless is on cooldown. And once it was abused, Nika Jungle combined for that first blood, and it sets Bastet up to be an absolutely pain in the backside all game. He also went power pot.
The Bastet?
Yep.
This was a planned gank from the start. They knew exactly what Axioz was going to do in lane, and they completely abused it. And that's the thing about Tier, right? You mentioned it. Once he's level 3, he's a different character in the soul lane. Before he hits level 3, before he can stance change and get that power cleave heal off, he is very vulnerable to death. And they're back at it again. No stance switch available. Actually, nothing for Axioz, but he gets out. But the thing that's a little bit worrying is Bastet's actually stayed here for quite some time. I'm
not too worried about this. Even Ra's now rotating over here as well. You see Cherryo hanging around in case there's a rotation coming out, and Cringe Crew instead focusing on mid lane. Leftover's decision to focus Axioz early is like a welcome to the Pro League. That's kind of what this has been here. It's like, let's try and abuse Axioz in the solo lane over here, get ahead early. And you can see that even Nika on this Guan Yu here, not taking a relic just yet. If he can get away with not having to get teleport, this could help out.
I think that was the biggest plan, is that they don't want to have Guan Yu stuck on teleport, because they have double globals, right? They have the Apollo, right? He could split push, he can defend and he split pushes, and he can make his way over to the fight. Repikas, though, going to be abusing Bakasura's strength, invading the jungle, steals away the big harpy, but not the small ones. Doesn't need that.
Did it on the right-hand side too, though, as well, so there's 2 creeps stolen away by Repikas. Repikas, very experienced jungler. We've seen him on Assassins before, when Assassins were a lot more, well, some of these these more dangerous Assassins, like all-in, not supportive like Thor, you know?
Kali as well, right? I mean, all the way back to Season 1 Regionals, right? The crazy comeback against Cloud9, a lot of it, you know, it was a team effort, but it was the quadra kill at the end that allowed Agilitas to find the win and make their way over to Worlds. Nika, level 5 here. Axioz, the most worrying part of this is that he's actually out of mana. He can't even Lawbringer away. Honestly, Nika could have killed him there, I think.
He missed the power cleave, and that was, I think, there was a big talking point there. I think he's worried about lane pressure coming out from, jungle pressure could be around as well. So instead, Nika going to try and freeze him off the wave a little bit, but Axioz just trying to stay in experience range for the most part.
Repikas not going to be able to secure those mid-camps. Jungler going to back away for now. And with that first blood, Jungler finds himself a couple hundred gold above Repikas, which is always nice, because that's one of the biggest strengths about Bakasura right now, is the ability to invade the boars, the mid-harpies, everything, and guarantee them with the minion.
Invade on the red buff now on the left-hand side, thanks to the pressure of the support being over here in EmilZy too. So good early pressure from Cringe Crew, abusing the Bakasura. Yes, they lost that first blood over in the solo lane, but so far so good. They're getting harpies on the left as well, but in response, Leftovers stealing away blue buff on the right.
And they're not going to be able to help out this tier here. This is guaranteed dead. Nika has his ult, Jungler has his jump, so no worry about getting bullied there at that blue buff. And now it's kind of just the core grouping of both teams right now. But Jungler, I mean, look at him. I don't think he's left this right side of the map.
No escape in mid lane. Is going to hit 2, but the snipe is in response from Cherryo. Both ults wasted.
I love that.
By Leftovers.
I love that. Don't waste your purification right there, right? Your ultimates are on lower cooldowns. You also have that opportunity to immune out the Ares ult once again, and that's probably one of the biggest strengths about Raw.
But this is a power play opportunity for Cringe Crew now. Athena can't teleport around the map. Badgah is not going to have that available. So if they look with the Janus for a big global ult, they could potentially find a pick if somebody overextends. Leftovers need to be very aware of that going forward now.
And I think they are, right? You could see them pretty defensively across the map right now. Not a lot of ward coverage, though. That is in favor of Cringe Crew, especially on that right-hand side. I like that, right? Especially considering how much time Jungler has spent over on that map. Make sure that Axioz can't fall even further behind.
And
but
look,
there was a teleport picked up by Nika, though. You're kind of mentioning that.
Yeah, I mean, we're looking at potentially it being the situation, but I think Axioz did a good job of, you know, staying alive there, just to make sure he didn't have the issue. Now, the other thing is, though, is the jungler is even on gold with Repikas. Even though he got first blood, all this rotation to the solo lane and lack of farming, he's been looking for lane pressure. He's not really found it other than that first blood, and because of that, well, you can see that the gold situation now is actually pretty even between the two.
This is fine, though, right? The whole point of Bakasura, right? Bakasura didn't change in his damage output early, mid, or late game.
Yeah.
What changed was the fact that he can out-farm players so much that it gets a massive experience lead, and it just can't be kind of matched by any other jungler in the game right now. But the fact that jungler... why does he name himself Jungler?
I know.
The fact that jungler on this Bastet set up early, and he's just kind of... That first blood gold was just to make sure that he would stay even up until this point with Repikas.
Right. Minions are spawning there. You can see them flashing away on
good.
the side at the moment. But they're setting up for it and well aware of leftovers. But keep an eye out for the taunts from Badgah, because if he finds one, there is pressure.
Axioz.
There it is. Onto EmilZy. Going to get pressured in. And round the corner comes Nika with the cavalry charge too. Cringe Crew are in trouble here. Jungler gets first kill, but the turnaround from Reppy's good. He'll trade out Nika.
Nika there, I'm not sure if he got hit by the World Weaver, if that was intercepted, but 1 for 1. They do take out Kero there. They lose Nika, but that's going to allow Axioz to free farm for a little bit and kind of remedy that big drought he got by getting first blooded. Gold still in favor of Nika, however, and no teleport for him. So yeah, Axioz should be able to kind of recoup a lot of that early gold.
Axioz gets 2 waves off that little engagement there as we tune into the duo lane here, because he pushed 1 wave into the tower by not rotating, and the second one's now going in after his teleport in. But we'll see Nika back for the 3rd wave, so catches him up a little bit. As you said, the rotation was good from Nika, but got punished.
And a lot of that too was because I mentioned it about 30 seconds before. Cringe Crew actually had both the top and bottom side warded on the right-hand side. However, those wards had just ran out. Axioz got his wards down, and then Cringe Crew just had no idea that he was coming in.
Well, leftovers. Last time they played, they did face off against Dignitas and find this split. Meanwhile, Cringe Crew split with Paradigm. So both of them will be looking to continue at least splitting ways. If they can find winning ways, it'd be even better situation.
That's all that's happening right now in both scenes, right? North America and Europe, these teams are just splitting back and forth, right? Enemy and Panthera have kind of found themselves ahead of the curve right now.
You know what we need to do? Next split, best of 5s. There's no splits then.
Get me out.
Best of 7s.
We did best of 3s.
Best of 5s.
And what was it, the spring split of last year? That was not fun.
Best of 5s.
Was not fun at all.
At least we get winners.
That's true. That's always nice. America,
That's true.
You know, in America, we always love winners. We always got to have someone come out.
Well, why'd you lose so much then?
Hey, man, we win you know what? How many Super Bowl wins does Europe have? That's what I thought.
How many countries do you invite to the Super Bowl?
As many as it takes.
Thank you. Good
night. We don't invite countries, we invite the best players.
I'm going to drop my mic.
So I'm sorry you don't have the best players.
There's some UK players there. Thank you. Some Europeans playing in NFL. Thanks very much.
We still hold the most wins.
You're trying to fight
hold
with
the
me.
most wins.
You're trying to fight with me. It's just not working. Over the dual lane though, Axioz still doing a pretty good job for himself after dropping first blood. Still, when you look at the actual difference in it, it's 200 gold difference between the two, which isn't too bad for the solo lane early on. And still, in terms of build, that 200 gold isn't amounting to much.
And now leftovers find themselves even after first blood and trading out a win. A lot of that coming from that Bakasura pressure that we've kind of talked about so much. And Axioz actually might find a Fearless, but still immune to knockups there.
Ever so slightly.
Talu Assault just finishing.
Yeah, just a mistimed on that opportunity that was available to him there. So poke backwards and forwards between the solo lanes as per usual. Neith and Apollo, let's go to them in the duel, and we chin in for a second. But looks like we're going to see Shaggyshenk going straight for the Iqval. Meanwhile, we're going to see Arkkyl heading straight for the Assi.
And counter wards going the way of leftovers right now. Just trying to get vision of the Gold Fury. We've seen actually a pretty fair number of snuck Gold Furies in both regions so far. Teams haven't been the best at making sure to maintain the objectives, and that's one of the reasons in North America, at least, that Enemy have found themselves with a lot of wins, is they are able to survive to the late game in a lot of these senses and just utilize their kind of superior team fights.
So Repikas there, you saw him hide in the pit looking for a potential engage, but we might see a 4-on-4 fight. EmilZy leading the charge in with Bolster, going to get a chain off of Cherryo. Second one misses. No damage return from Cherryo just yet, but the snipe will connect with him. And
EmilZy's
now with the
trouble.
cavalry charge and the Athena dunk coming in, there was no backup in time. He'll find one kill, but reinforcements have arrived once again.
Kero through the portal, trying to find jungler. No one to intercept the World Weaver.
were
No,
looking.
actually, Badgah gets there in time. Axioz over the wall trying to chase him out, but jungler should have the space. He jumps back quickly. A nice 1-for-0 in favor of leftovers, and that was EmilZy trying to burn Purification. But the problem is, Cherryo just lined up the snipe and did just enough damage for the rest of his team to follow up.
And the thing was, Nika also used cavalry charge at the same time as Athena dunk, which just all combined 3 ults back in EmilZy's face. He's like, okay, fine, you blow our ults, well, you're going to pay. Repikas tried to make something happen. Will Weaver was coming in onto jungler, onto Bastet. But Bastet, his team weren't looking. He did that himself. He looked at where his team was and went, okay, block this, please. Thanks, Badgah. Peace, I'm out. Because Badgah was chasing.
And it's hard, kind of, as a support, especially if the call right now is to chase another player. Even if he's calling for World Weaver, you have to really quickly kind of look around and assess the situation. And I think it was appropriate for jungler to kind of line it up for himself instead of relying on his team to do it. It's a lot easier.
So EmilZy's aggression has been turned on him twice now, I want to say. He's been looking for the picks, which is what you want to do on the Ares, but being punished for it. He's only fallen down once, though. But his teammates have as well, as we did see Kero take a tumble earlier on. God Fury Control is still in favor of leftovers now. It's been a little bit like a Christmas tree consistently so far this game, which is very important because I think God Fury Control is a definite contest. And when you look at these two teams on paper, their supports are generally their leaders.
EmilZy
for both teams.
And Badgah, I would definitely say this is Badgah's team captain, right? He gets kicked off of Fnatic, and then he's like, who am I going to get? Even the name Leftovers, right? He was not on a team. He actually tried out for some of the top European teams, but wasn't able to kind of be the guy to get picked up. A little bit surprising, honestly, for how tenured Badgah was. But he finds the players that, maybe not other teams were looking at. Cherryo, I think people were looking at, but still, switching over to mid, I think, was a benefit for him. And then, honestly, jungler, right? Fails. Kind of a diamond in the rough for how well he's been playing. Not a lot of people were talking about Fails.
Well, let's be honest, Fails' his career, what did we really see out of him? He was on the Myrmidons for a while, and No Escape does hit onto jungler here through space and time connects as well. EmilZy gets credit for the kill. Stable Vortex was very good for damage onto Badgah. Badgah very tanky, and talking about someone that needs some tanky protections is Arkkyl as he takes to the sky to get away from the danger of Repi.
And both solo laners actually rotating over here. You can see Cringe Crew want to start this Gold Fury. Cherryo still has a snipe. Axioz going to be the man peeling, but here comes Nika.
Looking for the kill. Cringe Crew get the Gold Fury, but will they get away? EmilZy will tumble first of all. On the back of this, though, Axiom still chasing the kill and will pick up Cherryo. And now, will we see leftovers aggress some more? Badgah looking for a taunt if he can find it. No. Not enough time to get in range.
That's definitely in favor of Cringe Crew. Not only do they secure the Gold Fury, but they get a 1-for-1. Cherryo trying to get in the fight, but he was just left unprotected. Axioz just 100-0'd him in the backline, just completely sold him. You can see the rest of leftovers weren't focused on peeling for Cherryo. They were trying to get into the Gold Fury pit, and they were close, to be fair. That was not a free Gold Fury for Cringe Crew. That was just a split-second, too-late reaction from leftovers.
Some of that definitely comes back to Axioz for making sure Cherryo wasn't able to put the snipe on the target as well, at least for the right sort of time for it. Going to go back to his own side of the map now with that Breastplate of Valor. Pick up his ball with the help of Repikas there, and Repikas 1-0-1 so far on this Bakasura. Is probably the second best performance of a Bakasura jungle I've seen in Europe so far this season, following Cuvo Fred.
Still a little bit worrying though. Doesn't have a massive experience lead. Is ahead by about, 600 gold now. So you really want to see this Bakasura kind of not get too ahead of himself. He's level 13. He's higher level than everyone outside of the solo laners and Cherryo right now. You want to abuse this advantage, this gold advantage you have, especially once he finishes his next item, which I'm assuming is going to be Chin's.
Now, build-wise, in terms of relics as well, we're seeing a little bit of a mix-up here with Cringe Crew. I expect to see Axioz look for the Blink, but he's gone for the Curse, which is going to help him against the double healing composition, as well as Repikas going for a sprint here.
And EmilZy back at it again. Going to find 4 members, actually. A couple Purification used, but Badgah holds his ult. And now Cherryo getting chased out. I mean, it's a Raw. He has nowhere to go. Shaggyshenk finds the last auto. Jungler doing his best to keep the team fight going.
Jungler's in a lot of trouble, though. He just pounced in place, and that's going to be a free kill for him. Arkkyl now rotates in, looking for some pressure onto Shaggyshenk, as Nika's the one being focused down here by Kero. He'll dash back to his team, but the taunt from Badgah will not keep him alive long enough as Shaggy picks up the kill with the in-hand. Arkkyl has to Sanctuary. Will Weaver blocks as well, but Lawbringer and Repikas' Butcher Blades will not.
4 for 1 in favor of Cringe Crew there.
There's a tower there, buddy.
It's only Badgah left, and it actually looks like Cringe Crew wastes no time. They're not going to focus towers. The invade comes out from Repikas. He knows there's no way Badgah's going to be able to come over here and stop this. Doesn't even want the buff. He has a red buff around him, to be fair, but that was just beautifully executed by Cringe Crew. They focus out Cherryo at the start of the fight, knowing that he has nothing to get away. His Sanctuary was the only thing up. Purification was down. Chased him through. Nothing he could be done. And then the biggest problem was the fact that Leftovers, they have this double heal, right? They have the Solar Blessing from Raw, they have the Conviction from Nika. But if those two players are targeted at the beginning of fights and they die, you can't reset it if you're Leftovers.
And I think that's where we've seen Cherryo invest into a Breastplate of Valor here, just for the extra defense that he's really going to require. He wants the cooldown reduction as well, obviously, from that. But the extra defense will really help him survive these early burst engagements that they're really looking for. EmilZy goes in every time and tries to force ult or Purification. The team then follows up every time, and their focus is Cherryo, 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 and then secondary target, whoever presents himself. That time round, it was Jungler that did it first, followed by Nika.
Blue buff going the way of Axioz. He has recouped that first blood pretty well, sitting at 7,900 gold compared to Nika's 7,600. The Gold Fury, a couple fights, and Cringe Crew, they have control of the game now.
I do not know what that tier 1 item is. I'll be honest.
It goes into Spellbound Kusari, I think. It's the rank 1 of Genji's and Oni's.
Okay, right.
I forgot what it's called.
Gotcha.
Enchanted Kusari. Okay,
Enchanted Kusari. But yeah, he goes into Genji's or Oni's. That's fine. That's all I need to know.
It's going to be Genji's.
Yeah.
Genji's is so good right now.
I can see that being a very beneficial one for them. Right Harpies do go the way of Cringe Crew, though. Check out the graphs and just see, because obviously one Gold Fury in the favor of Cringe Crew, as well as these fights. This lead is getting rather large right now. The gold may not tell the real story. The experience does.
That's massive. And Repikas, who, you know, at the end of that fight was level 13, already finds himself 3 levels ahead of Jungler in just the past 2 minutes. After that fight, he knew there was nothing else for his team to do because gold was down.
Yep.
So he just kind of hit every single point of the map, farming as fast as he could with Bakasura. He has Chins online now, too.
And that's a big thing.
Power spike.
The Chins, as well as Fatalis at 16 minutes in a game, is a huge spike of damage for him as well. Not only that, talking about Chins online, there's also one for Shaggyshenk as well.
And even though Neith falls off, still not going to fall off just yet, considering how far ahead he is of Arkkyl. Axioz swinging away here on this whole lane. And if I'm Cringe Crew, Gold Fury about to spawn, I want to do the same thing. I want to try and pick off Cherryo or Jungler and then force the fight.
Before the gold even spawns, the red is the first focus. You can even see Shaggyshenk pushes in the wave, rotation from Jungler as well. The jungler, I should say, as well as EmilZy towards that buff and immediately take it away and just keep stripping the experience. They may look for a pick on Cherryo or get him mid.
They want Cherryo so bad. There's the 2-man pool for now, the double ult combination, but those are going to be down, and actually Badgah gets chains. Axioz has rotated over here. EmilZy going to back off, though, as Nika teleports in.
Get teleported on Nika. That's a good win for them. They should have recognized that Axioz well in immediately. He heads back to right side going, I can go for the tower here, but he's a little bit worried about the Gold Fury. I think that's why we just saw him swing back again. Instead, he's going to stop Nika making that rotation over to that solo lane, so he loses some more experience from that decision.
And you can see that blue buff on the right-hand side has spawned again. Axioz, you have to imagine he's going to contest it, and no response coming out from Leftovers right now.
Nika's there, though. Nika versus...
It's a 1v1.
Who ends up getting it? It did go the way of Nika, so Nika defended his buff, which is a good play from him for now.
That's honestly huge. You can't get even further behind this tier than you are right now. So... Oh, Gold Fury started
Taunt on 2. EmilZy going to get hit by some decent damage, as is Repi. Repi jumps away. Still, though, EmilZy going in with the chains, trying to slow them all down. Root from Shaggy does connect onto Jungler, who pounces away. Space and time misses. So Jungler away from the danger. We did see Arkkyl jumping on the Apollo, but Arkkyl got ripped apart and will die to the damage coming out from the boys at Cringe Crew.
This should be a Gold Fury, at the very least, attempt. All 5 members grouped up. Axioz once again on zone duty. Nika going to dash through him. Gold Fury starting to take damage, but it's Nika actually raining in with the Athena ult. But Cringe Crew just drop it. They don't care. They're going to fight instead.
Looks to fight a little bit more, but no ultimates available for them. They've got to be careful of Leftovers because they will continue to sustain back up. The Gold Fury's pulled again. Cherryo has his ultimate still available here. The snipe could be the impact. Jungler blinks in, pounces away again, realizing Axioz was looking for the Fearless. Once again, Leftovers try to leave, but they're not being allowed to for free.
3 chains on EmilZy. Nika nowhere to go. It's going to be Kero to find that hit. Repikas getting a little bit low, but it's Axioz on the front line dealing with Cherryo, and I don't think he has anything. No, his ult was back up. Low cooldown, and EmilZy actually takes the portal, juking out Jungler, but he's run right back into him.
He's still alive, though. Badgah may look for the cleanup kill onto him if he can find it with the taunt. There it is. Badgah gets one, but now Badgah's used all his abilities for that as Axioz did clean up Cherryo after the snipe was fired. Badgah will now fall down as well. Cringe Crew starting to run away with this game based on the engagements alone.
It's going to be a 3-for-1, but Cringe Crew reset Gold Fury once again. They want to do this objective more than fight right now. Leftovers, 2 members left alive to steal it. Jungler, he has pounced to get in. No one can peel right now for Cringe Crew.
Here we go, Arkkyl, Jungler trying to defend this. They've not really got aggressive damage. Pounce, maybe. No, Cringe Crew get the Gold Fury, and Jungler gets punished for that pounce in by a very good cripple coming out from the Regurgitate from Repikas.
I'm a little bit surprised to not see Cringe Crew group up for the mid tower, but no, there they go. Shaggyshenk gonna go back to farming on left-hand side, and Cringe Crew once again go to the graphs, extend their lead. 7,000 gold, 13,000 experience, and we're less than 20 minutes into the game.
And they're just stripping the jungle over and over again,
Beautiful.
abusing the advantage they've got. They've got mobility with the Janus to help them out. They've got frontline with the Ares and the Tyr. And then on top of that, you've still got the Bakasura with the Eat Minion to consume as many things in the jungle as quick as possible.
I like this more than the towers, actually, just stripping away the jungle with this Bakasura, who's level 18. And, you know, the towers, they're not going to respawn. You could take them at any point as long as you have a lead, you have a chance to siege. But the buffs, you just want to deny even more experience for Leftovers. Sure, the tower probably would have been better immediately, but in the long term, Leftovers, it's going to be so much harder for them to close the gap. A 4-level lead between the junglers right now.
But what do they do next? Do we just stop going for tower still and keep doing these engagements at the jungle camps, or do we start stripping away these towers now? I mean, this is a turning point, or you have to change that up.
This is the time, right? Right there, I think it was fine to invade the jungle. All these players now have big power spike items. Now it's time to group up in siege. The only thing you have to worry about is the Apollo split push coming from Arkkyl, but he's so shut down, he doesn't even have Chins online right now.
Yeah, no chins for him. Meanwhile, look at that, Shaggyshenk working towards, already got Titan's Bait completed, now working for some extra penetration as well. Wouldn't be surprised to maybe see the Brawler's Beat Stick come out here just for the extra abilities to actually reduce the healing of the enemy team. Again, there's no escape in mid lane from EmilZy. Goes off once again. A lot of ultimate shoes torn onto EmilZy. That puts him in an awkward position, but he's very, very tanky right now, and this opens up Repi to dive in for Jungler and pick up the kill. Horsey, don't you stop. He's going to go clippity-clop onto EmilZy's face. Not enough for a kill, though. Arkyl's in the sky, but he's going to jump in with his team, I expect.
Bolster defense is doing so much work right now. I mean, Leftovers are throwing everything they have at Cringe Crew, but it just doesn't matter. Snipe comes through and connects on one. Repikas finds the last hit on Cherryo. Badgah just trying to get away, but he's surrounded by 4 members. Look at this. Shaggyshenk goes into the ultimate, doesn't even spin it on Badgah, looking for one more, but they don't pull the trigger. 3 dead on the side of Leftovers, and the last 2, there's no way they can defend this versus 5.
Tier 2 will fall down here, but the question is, where do Cringe Crew head to next? Are they healthy enough for the Fire Giant? Will they swing left or right for the tower's end? It looks like the call is towards the left.
Repikas stripping away the back camps again. It's going to be the Boars as well. And Cringe Crew, I mean, there's no way that this tier 1 at the very least is stopped. Maybe Leftovers can hold, but it's right now it's so hard for Leftovers. You saw how much they invested into EmilZy, but he's so far ahead as a support. He has tank boots, he has winged blade, he has sovereignty, he's got rank 2 of a magical defense item, and then he has bolster defenses, which I wouldn't be surprised to see if he's maxing. Can we actually hover over EmilZy?
Yep.
Yeah, he maxed the bolster defenses.
And that's the story of this season. More often than not, Raph was the first one to really do it, and everybody else started to con on to the fact that actually this is really wise.
It's like a shell without the flat damage reduction.
Free shell, but it's also crowd control reduction, which is the other thing that a lot of people don't realize. 30% at max rank is a lot, and it lasts for 8 seconds.
Combine that with the boots as well, you're never stun locking EmilZy. It's actually impossible.
It's not about stun locking EmilZy, it's also the fact that he does that for his whole team. The whole team around him gets that benefit. So nice little situational awareness from Rafa originally, and the rest of the support starting to adopt it as well now. 15-6, Cringe Crew looking good for game 1 right now. So far, they've not really had many issues this game. Yeah, Jungler picked up first blood in the solo lane with some aggression, but the focus has been on picking Cherryo time and time again.
A lot of this for me is the picks and bans from Cringe Crew. Everything was just so well thought out. In that second phase, of they bait Cherryo into the raw because they're going to ban it away themselves. So he has to pick it in the first half. And then they ban away junglers that Jungler himself has played to set up Cherryo all game. They take away the Hunbats, and I believe, who was the other one? They took away the Naja, and there was one final one. Right-hand side, though.
Here to try and defend, going to get a ton off on EmilZy, but still, Repikas then turns up and puts the pressure on with the Regurgitate. Badgah going to ult away, eventually, just in time, onto Nika, but they will get the tier 1 tower on right side as Cringe Crew group up again. Would you have rather seen the raw as Scylla? Like, I'm thinking Scylla would have been a bit better.
Scylla might have been a little bit better, but Sprint popped, and Cringe Crew, they're on their surging forward actually right now. EmilZy getting pretty low, but bolster defenses should keep him alive. Jungler jumps in, trying to find the last hit, but he's spending so much time. EmilZy actually manages to stay alive. He starts taking the tower. Axioz in the back line, though.
Axioz in the backline does manage to pick up one, but Jungler will fall down. Nika has to run away from Axioz, and Repikas still chasing in, looking for a pick with the Whirlweaver coming through from Shaggyshenk. That'll secure it. Tier 2 tower falls down. Meanwhile, Arkkyl trying to split push to victory, but the Phoenix will fall.
He doesn't come teleport, or he doesn't ult over to help his team. Instead, all he gets is a tier 1. Cringe Crew find 3 kills.
He's 3,000 gold behind Shaggyshenk, though. 3,000 gold behind Shaggyshenk, is that bad? Is it bad for him to try to split push and catch up?
It's hard, right?
3,000.
He has no penetration right now. The towers aren't falling fast enough. EmilZy in a little bit of trouble, but still managed to hold the tier 2. No Phoenix in the mid lane, though. Picked up by Cringe Crew.
Started by Cringe Crew instead. Cherryo well aware. Axioz once again zoning away on Cherryo, trying to keep him busy. Cherryo, though, still trying to get in there to try and steal away, but finds out it's gone, and now Cherryo is in a bit of an awkward position. Axioz will not let this go for free. Fearless combo is perfect, and then with Repi and Shaggyshenk combining, they'll pick him up too.
This is a brutal game for Leftovers, right? They have a plan going in. They first blood the new guy, right? It's like, let's just pick on Axioz. Let's get Nika ahead. Let's have him rotate over. Yeah. And Nika even did rotate over and allowed them to get a kill, but they lose one in return. And ever since then, it's just been Cringe Crew with kind of the superior team fights. And honestly, EmilZy, right? I talked about it at first, where it was going to kind of be hard for him to burn this purification because of the double CC immune ults coming out from Cherryo and Badgah, but he did it so well, and he just repeatedly did it.
Over and over again. And going back to Cherryo's pick of Raw here, like you said, for me, I felt Scylla was a better opportunity here, just because against an Ares, as an example, you could pop I'm a Monster and dunk him, because he's going to take a lot of damage from the Crush as well, because you can guarantee it onto him. That would have potentially relieved some pressure. Whether they thought about that and they decided not to because of, I don't know, maybe because of Regurgitate versus Sentinel to get away, not so sure. Lack of mobility there. But they could have looked at Scylla as an option. I don't know if it would have made a big difference, though.
I mean, They went for the heal comp, right? And this is something Leftovers have done, but the heal comp only works if you're even or ahead and maybe a little bit behind. The problem is they have such a hard time peeling for Cherryo right now, right? Nika doesn't have a hard stun outside of his ult. Badgah has his taunt, but that's typically used aggressively. There's a Mez.
That's the old appeal. You're right.
I mean, there's a Mez, but it's just, that's not really helpful. It's almost guaranteed that someone's going to break the Mez unless you time everything perfectly. With how massive these team fights are, it's hard to just hold someone in place.
And with that said about Peel, then it's all up to Badgah for a very good taunt engage coming out for the team here, but it's EmilZy is going to engage first with the no escape. Horsey is up, Horsey is down through space and time, but the taunt hit 4 men. The difference is, though, the Repikas shredding the backline. Cherryo's already dead. He forces away, though, Jungler, who actually picks up the kill onto Repikas in trade. 1-for-1, 2-for-1 trade, I should say, as the Phoenix is now falling.
One Phoenix remains right now for Leftovers. Cringe Crew, they're going to go straight to it. They're not even going to try and end. They're still playing it safe. Cherryo spawning in 30. Badgah spawning in 30. No Phoenixes remain. Cringe Crew, are they going to try to end now? But
they've got 5 minutes right inside. They could look for that one. They've got another, like you said, 20-odd seconds on it. But instead, Cringe Crew played it safe.
Let's go to Golden Hand real quick. See if these players are going to be able to finish off their builds. 2,400 online for Janus. Everyone else sitting at about 1,000 to 2,000. And you can see there, it's going to be Kero selling his last item. He has Routed to Hootie, so he's looking for a Soul Reaver in his last slot. And Shaggyshenk just sells Golden Bow and full buys Malice.
Let's check out player damage as well this game. I've not really looked over that chart at all, but it is Repikas at the top. And surprisingly enough, Shaggyshenk right behind him, joining there by Kero as well.
You know, we've seen a lot of Bakasura recently, especially in Europe, not so much in North America. But we haven't really seen it utilized well, I would say.
Kiva Fred was the only one I've seen utilize it very well.
But it was solid, right?
That's a team effort.
It was solid. This Repikas, right, has just been phenomenal. He had a 4-level lead in the jungle by, I think it was 20-odd minutes, and he's just abused the farming potential of Bakasura. Got so far ahead, and all game, you've seen him dive to the back line. Even there, right? Even though he dies, he still kills one member, almost kills a second, 1v3, past Phoenix's, like, almost into the Titan room.
But you did see the weakness of a Bakasura. He did fall because he's a very squishy target if he gets isolated and he falls down, just like that Phoenix did once again for Leftovers. With fire minions in all 3 lanes now, is the beginning of the end for Leftovers here. They have to make a final stand, hoping to hold on to some sort of hope in this game. There's not much left if you're a Leftovers fan right now, though.
This has got to be a miracle hold from Leftovers. They need to kill Janus, and they need to kill Repikas right now.
Space and time hit 3 members. Kero deleted Cherryo off that one as well. There's the ultimate coming out from Regurgitate. They're focusing the Titan down. Game 1 goes the way of Cringe Crew with a fantastic performance.
That was really well played from the team, right? And Axioz as well. New guy on the block to the SPL, performing very well after getting first blood.
Picked on early, but he does a very, very good job of actually just sustaining the lane up, considering he was against the, up against it, because Guan could have run away with that a little bit more, I want to say. Go back to that first blood again, and you'll see exactly how Jungler played this one, because I like the idea. It was very smart. He had red pot available.
And a lot of this, too, was he wanted to make sure to hit level 2 here, and that's what secures the kill, right? He makes sure to not only hit Axioz, but he hits the creep as well. The bleed ticks, hits level 2, finishes him off with the jump.
It's funny because you actually see Jungler hang there for a second and actually start walking into lane. Now, the reason he's doing that is because he sees power cleave and he's thinking, oh, he's not going to use the Fearless. Well, I'm just going to get the experience now because I'm already here. Goes for it and oh, perfect timing. But then we get some plays out of Axioz as the game goes on. This was his defense at the Gold Fury where he solos Cherryo. But to be fair, Cherryo's not focused on him at all. He's just trying to get away.
And Cherryo throws at the snipe, but I'm not sure if I think it was just a hair too late there.
Yeah,
it was
a
really
early.
I think if Leftovers steal that Gold Fury, this game, maybe it's a little bit different. But because Cringe Crew not only secure it, but also only lose one member after the hard engage from Leftovers, they were kind of able to walk away with it with the following Gold Fury steals.
Well, before the loss of Zashu this year, we did see Repikas join Cringe Crew, and he had a fantastic game on that Bakasura. Over in Europe, we've seen a little bit more of this jungler, and he's making an impact.
And just go straight to the back line. Sprint's popped, and he knows his job is just focus out the squishy targets. And even not squishy, right? He has true damage in his kit as well. And Cherryo recognized that he was kind of the one getting targeted since he doesn't have peel. He even goes breastplate, but it doesn't matter. Repikas just shreds him all game.
And he just continues working away. Once Butcher Blades is up, happy to go in, pick up the kills, just over and over again. Just watch his position on the backside, though, for the most part. He waits patiently for most of it before going in. He's not diving in on his own. He's waiting for the opportunity to present himself.
And finds the last hit here out of Badgah, I believe.
So as we're watching these replays through here, Adanas, what we're looking for from Leftovers Game 2 here? Was it the comp as an issue
I think it was the comp was the biggest problem.
Do we ban Badgah?
I don't know if Bakah's worth the ban. Obviously, Repikas kind of ran away with this game, but that was the problem, is that Leftovers composition really didn't allow them to survive that early game very well. And even then, there's not a lot of synergy, right? You have the taunt for the Raw. A lot of it seemed to be based around this Raw Guan Yu heal composition, but by the time the team fights broke out, so many members were not only behind in experience, but like 1,000 to 2,000 behind in gold, and then the Badgah just shredded players with true damage before the healing could even come into effect.
Okay, so this time around, different picks and ban phase for Leftovers. Hopefully they get it a little bit cleaner, and then...
I think the biggest thing for me was the fact that Jungler had Hunbat's bend away from him. I think if Hunbat's is in this lineup instead of the Bastet, they can kind of survive the early game a little bit better.
Let's find out.